May was a little busier than I thought it would be, but it was awesome. Friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin, and this is Robin's Reading Nest. I would also like to welcome you to the second episode of The Cozy Chapter. The Cozy Chapter is a monthly series where I discuss books that I read the month before. There will be life updates, bookish news, and anything book related. So let's grab a snack and a drink and let's catch up. Today we're going to be diving into my May wrap up, and I've got a birthday recap. I've got some bookish news and, of course, everything I read. So let's get into it. We all know that during the month of May here in the US, we celebrate Mother's Day, and I have to show you my gifts. First, I received this book and coffee charm for my Pandora bracelet, and my husband said he got this because he noticed that a lot of people, including myself, who are reading on social media, they have a cup of coffee to go with their books. And so I thought that was adorably cute. Also, he got me a copy of Kennedy Ryan's This Could Be Us. Now, I have already told you guys that I have Before I Let Go, and I got Kennedy to sign it in 2024. And then I got Can't Get Enough, and I got Kennedy to sign that one last year. So I am going to take This Could Be Us and get her to sign it this year. So my hubby was a little disappointed. He was like, I didn't know that you had this book already and that you've read it. I said, well, I read it because, I borrowed it from the library app, but I didn't own it. I was planning to buy it. And so he beat me to the punch. Let's see. Also, my son, well, I guess I should say my children, they got me this Michael Jackson t-shirt. I had planned to get it for myself to wear to the movie, but then I noticed that it was popping up everywhere, and my sister was like, are you sure you want to buy it? Because everybody else may weigh theirs. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But my son went ahead and got it anyway, so I love it. And the finale, the piece de la resistance, is a new car. Now, I was in need of a car. I was completely in need. Like I told you guys before, we live in the suburbs, and it's a good little trek to get back into town because we live so far in the country. So yeah, I was in need of a new car, and I love this one. It's a Hyundai Palisade. It has third row seating. There's enough room for 8 people. It's an automatic, and I named her Cardi, and I love her. I'm planning on stocking and decorating it pretty soon. So who knows? Maybe I'll do one of those uh, clean and stock my car with me videos. I don't know. But I would like to do a Hello Kitty theme. But my husband was like, what if I have to borrow your car to go somewhere? And I said, well, you just better get in, drive it, shut up, and get used to it. But no, seriously, I love it and I loved all of my gifts. Next up, after Mother's Day, we were celebrating my son's birthday. Now, my son is one of those people that if he wants to do something, he's just going to jump up and do it. There's no planning. He's spontaneous like that. And he gets that from my husband. On the other hand, I have to plan and prepare and weigh the pros and cons, and I'm just not a spontaneous type of person. Well, I guess some people would call it type A. I wouldn't really describe it as type A, but I like to have plans, backup plans, plan B, C, all the way through Z. I weigh out the outcomes and all of that. But like I said, my son doesn't do that. My husband doesn't do that. If they want to do something, they just jump head first. And for him, jumping head first was to learn the guitar. Now, he had been talking about it for a few weeks, and I was going to go on Amazon. I was going to get him this beginning guitar set. It had a bundle with the guitar, the picks, the case, um, an amp, an app, like all of this for $40 because I'm thinking, even though he's an adult, I'm thinking, okay, what if he gets bored? He picks it up and decides, "Oh, yeah, I don't want to do this." And then we have this expensive guitar just sitting downstairs. Well, he beat me to the punch and he bought a mint green Fender. And let's just say that it was $40. All right, it was add another zero, it's 400. But hey, that's him. He works, he makes his own money. What can I say? So he's been practicing since he's got it. He does like an hour, sometimes 2 hours a day, every day. So hey, it worked out, and who knows? Maybe I'm living with the next Tito, Jimmy, or Slash. I don't know. Uh, I did make him a guitar out of candy, and I thought that was cute, and he loved it, and so did his younger sisters because they helped him eat it. And so now I'll probably end up making him another one. And finally, to finish out the life updates for the month of May, we had two high school graduates in the family. Both of them will be attending college. One will be going for his commercial truck driving license, and a associate's in business administration, and the other one will be getting an associate's in liberal arts with a concentration in animation. So yes, very, very proud of those two guys. Okay, let's talk a little bit of bookish news. Now, we saw some new releases in May. We got Honey by Imani Thompson. We got Score by Kennedy Ryan. The re release of Revive Me by J.L. Seegars. Ghalen, Ghalen, A Romance in Black by Walter Mosely. And then On Witness and Repair by Jesmyn Ward. Murder by the Book by J.L. Campbell, and A Harlem Wedding by Tiffany Warren. I will list all the books down in the description box. Okay, and for May, let's get into my reading stats. So for the month of May, I read 5 books, and that's about 1,704 pages. Four of those books were ebooks, and one was a hardcover. And rating wise, I would say it was a good selection. So, my favorite book that I read for the month of May was Junie. And my biggest surprise was also Junie. I had saw a lot of people giving it rave reviews, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and uh, put my name on the wait list for Libby because it was short. So I said, let me go ahead and jump in line while I could. And after about a week, I got the book and just just like sped right through it. It was actually pretty good. Of the book that I can't stop thinking about is The Scammer. Now, oh my gosh. So, Tiffany D. Jackson and I have a love hate relationship. I don't know if she's aware of this, but uh back in, oh gosh, I want to say 2022 or 2023 maybe, my daughter introduced me to her, and the very first book was Monday's Not Coming. And if you have read that book, you know how traumatizing it is. And I said to myself, I am not going to read another Tiffany Jackson book because my emotions and my mental health cannot take it. Like, it was a lot. And then I saw reviews of some people who were like, because of the way it was written, try to read the, oh gosh, I think it's before, I think it's before and after. But the way she has the book split, it's like try to read section one or the before first. Read that all the way through and then go back and read it again, but read section two or the after, whichever way she had it. And I was like, no, I'm not going back to read that book. You know what? I think that's one book that I can honestly say that I will never go back and reread. Too traumatizing. But anyway, I ended up reading White Smoke last year, and then I read her YA book Blood in the Water, and both of those, they weren't triggering. The White Smoke was a little crazy, but yeah, the Blood in the Water, it was not triggering. So The Scammer came out October last year, and I said, well, that doesn't sound triggering, so I'll give her another shot. And I did. Now, as I was reading this book, I kept saying to myself, this story sounds so familiar. And if you have read any of Tiffany D. Jackson's books, you know she usually bases them on true events. Well, the more I read The Scammer, the more it occurred to me that this book could have possibly included events from Larry Ray and his cult at Sarah Lawrence and Nature Boy and his Carbon Nation cult. And it was a lot. So, you can go on YouTube and Google both cults, but I will put a link to the Hulu documentaries in the description box. And I may have to do a review on The Scammer because it once again it was a lot, and it's amazing to see how people can get so easily swept up in these cults. And there are people who are highly intelligent, genius level, IQ people who often get sucked into these cults. And it can start off something simple like nature boy, wanting to just live off the land, uh, no 9 to 5, just getting back to nature, and how quickly it just snowballed into what it is now. So, yeah, a lot. But like I said, I'll do a review later into that one and go into deep detail. Okay, so going into June, my hopefuls will be The Close Up and Score by Kennedy Ryan. I keep saying I'm going to read it, and I don't know if it's because I have both books, physical form, and I just decide to read on my iPad. I don't know. But I know I've got to get to both of these books. Also, I'm going to be finishing up The Seven Daughters of Dupree by Nikesha Ellis Williams. Second House from the Corner, and then There Was Me. Both of those are by Sadiqa Johnson. Mastery of Monsters by LaSalle Sandbury, which is kind of like Legend Born and Blood at the Root. So if you like those two, you'll like Mastery of Monsters. And finally, Murder by the Book by J.L. Campbell. All right, you guys, that's everything for my May wrap up. Let me know in the comments what your favorite book of the month was for May, or if you've read any of the books that I mentioned. I would love to talk with you guys about them down in the comments. Also, I have part two of my most anticipated releases uh, coming up, and those are the new releases for July through December. So I'm working on that and hope to have that put up soon. And I want you guys to look out for it. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, share it, and you can also follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and the Storygraph at Robin's Reading Nest. Once again, I want to thank you guys for visiting me here at Robin's Reading Nest, where birds of a feather read together. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.